Peace, peace. You with me, Sean?
Yeah, man, I'm right here. War ready, baby. War ready.
Already, word. Let me go ahead and share this link in your inbox, man. Maybe you can share it around.
Okay.
Give me a second. What's good with you, man? How's your day going? How's your morning
Oh
going?
man, they going good so far, man. Getting ready for the cruise, getting everybody packed up
Word.
and ready to go, man. But my day starting off good, man. I'm on the live with you, so I'm real good.
Hey, we good. We in here, building like usual.
We real good, man. It's our
Oh,
everyday bill that we do it
you dig?
3-4 times a day, baby.
Yeah, man.
Keep the ignorance away.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, yo, hey, everybody who may be watching or will watch later. This is the Shop Talk 7 YouTube live with my man, Sean P. Jonathan Polidor.
Yeah,
You know,
man. Yeah, I want to say first of all that I spend like all day, every day for the past 2 years just watching podcasts, listening to podcasts and things like that. So I appreciate you allowing me to be on your platform multiple times, man. This is so exciting to me, man. Every time we do it, I still get goosebumps, man.
hey, I've always felt that we need to have our conversations that we have. People need to hear these conversations.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
this,
And hopefully they'll spark dialogues for other people. You know what I'm saying? Once
yeah,
they see him and him.
and this is like one of my main reasons for wanting to do this. I'm not trying to be a YouTube celebrity, yada yada yada. I just want
Right.
have the conversations heard because I think it's good dialogue. But
It is good dialogue, and we all doing our individual parts as far as being an active thinker and then sparking dialogues, and hopefully we're making other people take action. I have different people tell me all the time, like, man, Sean, after we talk about certain things, it make me want to go and do blah blah blah. And these are stand-up guys I'm talking about. I'm not talking about I want to say lower level people, for a lack of a better word. I'm talking about like real stand-up guys. They know they could be more active. They know they haven't thought about a thing in a certain kind of manner. And so you and I having these dialogues and posting them and blasting them out to the world, hopefully we spark something that keeps on carrying on.
right, right. So let's
Yeah.
get into it, man. We kind of want to deal with what we talked about dealing with was the election,
Yes, sir.
but it's not so much about the election per se.
Yeah, not directly.
Where do we go from here and how do we get there? So
Right.
the election, right? It was weird. We didn't expect that.
Right.
A lot of people expected Hillary, whether you voted or not. I think a lot of people still expected Hillary because we didn't think that a guy like Trump saying the things that he said would get in.
It is
Sadly
very
enough,
amazing, incredible.
we have to go off what the candidates say for them to become president.
Right.
the verbal campaign to become president.
Right.
But and we all know that with these presidential elections, not often does something that the presidential candidates, not often does a presidential election have a trickle down effect. Uh, Oftentimes, whether it's at least visibly positive or negative, I would say, with the exception of the '94 crime bill, that affected some people we all know with the
Yeah,
tweet.
for real. Yeah.
But outside of that, we've always had the power to make our own reality, regardless of who was in office. We just rarely take advantage.
And I think that's something that you and I talk about in private is we can look at some other demographics of people, and they're sometimes some of the lowest voting participants there are. You see the numbers, but their communities thrive, man. Like
Asians in particular, right?
they don't care about who's sitting in that seat up there, man. And I'm not saying we should be irresponsible. It's not where I'm going. I'm
Right.
saying if you look at it, they're not necessarily worried about who's sitting in that seat because they're doing what they got to do in house. We're looking out for our own. We're taking care of our own. We own these businesses. We spend our dollar with each other. Our kids go to school just fine. We have our homes paid for, our cars paid for, and the next 2 or 3 generations coming down are going to be set up no matter who's in that chair or not. Is my point and my question. Like, that's interesting to me, you know?
I mean, and I'm not going to say
How
that
much Asian marketing did you see during the past year and a half?
they don't go to the.
How much Asian campaigning did you see?
I didn't see them make a point to go to the Asian community.
No, did Donald Trump like go to a bunch of Asian communities and have open forums and answer questions and do all these grand speeches to the Asian population? I don't recall that.
You did. I mean, exactly. They come to us. They go to
They come to us.
They
Come
go to
on,
the
man.
LGBT community.
Right. Right.
You know, you got to get the Southern whites.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the rural whites.
Yes.
In every state.
Yes.
Yes. And these are the main demographics I hear about.
Hey, you know what's funny to me while we on that? The amount of people that supposedly quote unquote quotations highly educated that voted for Trump anyway. Like, wow. Like you can hear all of that rhetoric and all these concepts, and you still think that's the educated choice?
Quote unquote
the educated population, yeah.
Quote unquote. I'm having a degree, in my opinion, does not make you educated. It means you went to school and you passed the curriculum.
True.
A structured curriculum.
Because I'm just saying, most times in the conversation, we're talking about people that's like back of the woods. You actually chewing on hay, you know, some old country kind of dude, you know, like together is my point. Yeah. These supposedly are a master degree, PhD, and you know, across the whole spectrum of academia, and they still felt this is the wise, educated choice. That's my point.
Yeah. And you see what that gets us.
Nah, I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We live in this society, and in this society, it is what it is. As a group, we got to put up and shut up.
True.
It's beneficial to vote. I'm not saying we have to vote.
Right.
But we definitely have to get economics in order. And I know this becoming a cliche phrase. We have to get our economics in order. And it's beneficial to vote. Right. It's beneficial for us, like Dr. Claude Anderson saying, I think maybe Amos Wilson, to put our own candidates in it.
But you know what I heard about? I think you saying the same thing about, like, what they call it, like block voting, right? Or group
block voting. Voting as a plebiscite.
Like,
you know,
like they said, like they said, you pretty much get your economic power together to where you can endorse or sponsor certain people and have them make sure they stand up to their agenda and the things that you see fit to pass and to put out and to uphold. And then because you have sponsored them in such a grand way, they hold true to that, and other people do the same kind of practice.
So exactly. So like, I mean, because it's power in numbers, right? It's power in unity. So imagine
it is power
unified front, and then you put your money behind it.
We're saying the same thing.
Way.
We're going into the circle, right? Because you know what? The same quote unquote educated Europeans that voted for him, I think they knew better. I'll contradict what I said lastly. I think they knew better, but they vote as a group. They stand together as a group. Whether this guy is blatantly wrong or not, he is our guy. And we don't act like that amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? If we had a brother up there with some of the same antics, some of the same background, look at Nate Parker for the Birth of a Nation. To make a microcosm, right? This ain't nothing but a movie.
Right.
We're talking about the President of the United States of America, the leader of the free world, right? This man has some allegations, by the way. It wasn't even confirmed. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, I'm sorry. It wasn't even confirmed that this man was accused of something, you know, as far as being found guilty. Look at the backlash this man got. But Trump can do some blatant things.
Blatant, like out there, just
folks come out the woodworks. Oh, how about this? Beyond any of that, him verbally saying it. And those folks felt like, man, we still standing with that brother. We still standing with this guy. This still our guy. That's something that we don't have. And that's that voting block mentality. Like, man,
look,
we all in with this, whether the ship sink or swim, we with the ship.
I wanna
go with it.
I wanna get those definitions clear that I use. I use the phrase, I use the word body politic.
Yeah.
Plebiscite.
Okay, break that down.
So a body politic can be viewed as a people of a nation, state, or society considered collectively as an organized group of citizens.
Okay.
A plebiscite is the direct vote of all the members of an electorate, that group of citizens that I was talking about on an important public question or issue, such as a change in the Constitution. So in short, you would unify with the common cause in mind and vote with the party, shall I say.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad you broke that down. I like that.
So I mean, so that's kind of where I was going with that. That's what we do. You talk about it all the time. I don't expect close to 50 million black people to get it together like that.
No, I think in the next 4 years, though, we have to all individually do our part, and I'm going to include myself in that conversation, and really heighten our political awareness, I mean, to a grand level. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I think we need to heighten our will to do stuff. We need to heighten our will to do stuff just to get stuff done. Listen, we have so much money flowing through the black community that we can get stuff because we feel
1.3 trillion, correct?
I think somewhere around there.
Spending power.
I'll get those numbers corrected.
That's fine.
But
we good.
I put a post up on my Facebook page. You saw it. That says something simple like, if I can get 10 people to give me 20 to come up with $20. I didn't say give me. I want to get my words right. I'm not saying you have to give it to me. But if 10 people would come together, and put up $20, we could bless somebody every 2 weeks. Because why would we do that? Because we feel like it.
And like you and I said before in the past, too,
more people every 2 weeks.
We could all get together on a small level and sponsor a semester for one child for their particular university. You know, we're talking about like the junior college level and things like that. But I think the whole concept we're talking about is starting off small where you are in your direct like influence. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
As far as the political conversation, you and I, we're gonna talk about this later on in the podcast, I'm sure, in the video, but we are doers. We're action guys, right? What are we going to do? We're not going to sit here and cry and complain and whine and look at numbers and all this and that, who voted, who didn't. Okay, so coming up, whatever coming up soon, let's go to your local town hall meetings and just sitting there.
Real.
And hear their jargon. Hear who's shaking who hand, who moving with who. Whenever city councilmen come up and other school board meetings come up, other things like that, you know, to go pass on that and watch Monday Night Football. Maybe you take your behind down there and sit in there for an hour or two.
Right.
And just starting to be aware on a small local scale. And then you start widening that thing out over time.
We gotta stop being scared to start small. It's okay to start small.
We do. Yeah, we all want this grand change, man. Even in weight loss, right? In fitness, you starting out small. You starting out just drinking like 3 more glasses of water per day. I'm not saying to drop everything you've been doing for the past 34 years of your life. Just small incremental changes over time. And we're not good at deferred rewards. You know what I'm saying? As far as investing and like in money, and as far as like an investment of time and effort for a grand cause.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about the Asian community earlier, right? And the Jews and communities like that. You know, I'm the historian, right? Whenever I hear a background on like 4 or 5 different generations of Jews,
right,
man, those earlier generations were willing to do the necessary work for something that they wouldn't even see pay off. But it allowed their great-great-grandkids to be lawyers and doctors and all that. They did all the slave work. They did all the working in the sweatshops. They did all the making garments and barely getting paid for it. All this busting their behind. But that 4th and 5th generation were removed from that. They were the doctors. They were the lawyers. They were the investors. They were the shaker and movers off of their great-grandparents' back, man.
They understood legacy.
Legacy. Yeah, legacy. Good job, boy. Legacy. That's why you're my dog. Legacy.
This is if we could just get into it. This is
we go.
I'm gonna attempt to do the solution thing real quick.
Let's go with it. We're solution-based people.
So here's what we could do right now. But what do we do? What do we do right? That's the question we get all the time. Okay, let's deal with it. I don't know everything, but I'm just trying to get the conversation started, and I'm going to do some stuff in order to get things started, so I can learn my lessons, or we can learn our lessons and get better from there, right?
Yes, we can.
For example, this $200 thing I did on Facebook, 10 people, $200. I'm trying to bless a random person, right? You never know who's a ticket away from being paid off from being able to drive, so they can do other things as far as work.
Okay.
You don't know who can, because you know robbing Peter to pay Paul starts a ripple effect.
It does.
Right? So you don't know who could use that $200.
Hey,
so
bro,
they don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul.
I got a concept just now when you said that. How about the
You know
people, the people that's stuck on that?
Stuff like that we can start doing right now, just to show that the community can take care of its people. And I know it's only $200, but my point is, if we start small, maybe we'll get 15 people next time, or maybe some people will put $30, and maybe some people will put $50.
But check this out, though, right? Even whenever we did the after-school program, Corey and I talking about economic literacy, right? I mean, financial literacy. There are some people in our community, a brother or sister, and they're stuck with these payday loans, right? You took out a payday loan 4 or 5 months ago, but you're on that hamster wheel. Whenever you pay it back, they said, well, you know what? For $50, you can renew the loan, and you're on this cycle. You find it hard to get off because you know why? That $200 gonna hurt you that next paycheck. You rather have it in your pocket.
It's gonna hurt you.
So if we could gather up $200 together and get you off of that hamster wheel, you got free of that particular debt that's on your back for the past 4 or 5 months.
Now, your average guy's going to say, well, what does it matter if we help this one guy? Well, that's just the start.
It matters a lot. It matters incredibly, man.
If you help one person, you probably just help 3 or 4 or 5.
We just spoke about incremental change, man. That helps out a whole lot, helping one person.
Listen, boss, we have my for example, I can handle mine, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna use myself as an example. If you paid off my car right now,
okay,
and paid my rent for 2 months,
yeah,
you're helping 5 or 6 people.
Exactly. And getting that mother off of that payday loan cycle. Getting that mother off of that payday loan cycle, right? Yeah, I know it. Give me 1 second. Getting that mother off of that payday loan cycle. Her kids are witnessing her ducking and dodging them phone calls. Her kids are witnessing her taking those letters and trying to shred them up, throwing them away, trying to get rid of it. So, you know, it's not in front of her mind. And that's causing a ripple effect in her kids. They think that's the normal. Her kids think you're supposed to duck and dodge certain people. You're supposed to duck and dodge certain responsibilities. She can finally go up in there proud with her kids, pay their loan person off and walk out of there with her shoulders back and her chest up and her chin up. You know what I'm saying? That's a ripple effect of 4 or 5 different kids. So that one person is a lot, man.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So we need to start doing stuff like that. I'm not gonna go into deeper stuff because let's start. I just want to start there. In later events, we'll talk about those things.
Yeah, keep going.
Let's just start there, right? As far as the money, one of another things we got to do, we got to take our communities back from our troubled youth and get them in line.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. I wanted to touch on that, man.
Hillary Clinton used the word super predators. I don't agree with that because I'm not gonna call my kids that. But she did use the phrase "bring them to heel." Now I don't want to refer to them as like cattle or something, but I mean, in a way, we, the community, we need to bring our youth to heel, so to speak. We have to do it, not them. It's much better for us to do it, right? But we have to stop being afraid, because if we don't stop being afraid, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is the police are going to do it, and now we're losing our youth, and now they're going to send them back into society, not rehabilitated, you know.
I got one better for you, brother. I don't think it's a matter of being afraid, man. You know, I'm gonna call it for what it is. It's lazy, bro. It's lazy because you know why? We're so.
Well, we did say we was gonna call it for what it is, then.
Yeah, we did, because you know why? We get so, well, we're made to be so individualistic. You feel like, man, I did my duties as far as myself. First of all, my personal responsibility.
I'm good.
I took care of my wife, my next obligation, my next responsibility. My wife is good. Everything is done. And then my kids are going to a decent school. They have their school uniforms. They have all of their needs and necessities and things like that, right?
Right.
So you feel like you good, you done. It's time to watch SportsCenter. It's time to watch Golden State. I'm done for the day. But I told my homeboy, for example, he's pretty much a well-to-do kind of guy. If you just help one man outside of your household, you just help one child outside of under your roof, that's doing a whole lot. And he had to admit that. You know what I'm saying? We all could be giving in more. I don't mean nothing grand. I don't mean nothing crazy. Just a little bit. You know, man, you know what? Going to the local grocery store, right? We all are creatures of habit. We see some of the same people in our day-to-day dealings. There's a couple young guys over at the grocery store. They're like in high school about to graduate or a little bit like after high school. I make it a point to talk to them guys every chance I get. And then after a while, whenever they see me in the gym, whenever they see me and my wife on a date, whenever they see me in the community anywhere, they make it a point to come over and talk to me. Because I didn't make a straight beeline from my car to the grocery store, to the milk and eggs, left out the grocery store, back in my car to the house. I make it a point to go over and talk to them, shake their hand. Yeah, man, what's up with this and that? Tell me about this, tell me about that. I had one young man come to me in the gym and ask me in confidence about like credit scores and all that kind of stuff like that. Maybe he didn't feel comfortable talking to his uncle or his daddy or whatever guy in his direct circle about credit scores and all that. But he felt comfortable talking to me about it. And that's a pretty personal thing. So just making a small example, you know, just making a small example of that don't take nothing but a couple, like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, you know what I mean? Didn't cost nothing.
We have to do that, though. We have to invest in our own communities. And I also think we have to stop moving out.
Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. I brought that up many a times, man. Let's talk about the macro and the micro, right? You know how they said like some of the smartest people academic-wise in Africa end up coming over here or they go somewhere else. So the question becomes who or what is left in Africa, right? As far as mental resources.
Right.
Not just the physical resources, the people that have the know-how, the ingenuity to build and create and manifest things, they all come to America. So I told a young man one day, if every person, I live in St. Martinville, Louisiana right now.
Right.
If every shaker and mover in St. Martinville was to feel like, man, you know what? I can get paid more in Houston. I can get paid more in Atlanta. I can get paid more in Jacksonville. And we all just did a mass migration out of St. Martinville. What are the kids left with in St. Martinville?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing. And they don't see nothing. So they're stuck.
Right. Because once again, we get stuck in this box where it's like, okay, I got a master's degree.
Yeah.
I can get paid almost double my salary in Houston versus being here. And I got to take care of my family, right? Because see, back to your American Dream podcast, because we both had this like certain kind of house and a certain kind of subdivision, and my kid going to a certain kind of school. And that's not here. So no brainer, I'm supposed to move to Houston. That's the average everyday, you know, the kind of box you end up in. You're trying to really decide, do I sacrifice my family and my family's enjoyment for the quote unquote community? Or do I leave, build myself up, build my family up, and then come back and give back and have more to give back? If I leave and make 90 grand, I got more to give.
But do you give? Do those people actually give?
A few that I know, they do, but that's their way they see that concept. Whenever I talk about them about this concept, they feel like, well, Sean, I did leave, but I have so much more to give whenever I do come back. I sponsor the junior high whole baseball team. I tell the coach, man, what the kids need, how much the equipment costs. I'm paying for everything. I sponsor certain organizations. You know, I sponsor a couple kids to go to college. I make grants. That's what they say. I can't defend that, you know, if they are.
Right.
If you are. Yeah. But we all know, man, it's nothing like having a presence, man. You know what it's like? It's like being a father, right? You could be a father that have a lot of economic ability, and you just pretty much like pay for all the kids' Jordans, pay for all the basketball camps, pay for all of this and that, but you never actually like literally there. You're never actually really on the ground, like shoot the jump shots with him or take him to get a haircut or just have like little guy banter, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, I heard somebody say that the other day, that the thing about
same thing with the community, man.
The thing about these basketball players and football, these athletes or whoever, these rap stars or you know, the musicians, it's good that they donate.
It is.
But what we need more, what we need just as much as them donating, their money, time.
Just like a child at the house.
We need them buying the stuff. We need them overseeing the projects. Really, like, hey, I'm going to buy this instead of, you know, giving it to a company or organization and letting them do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had $1 billion and I was charged with figuring out a way to heal the community, I would be in the community purchasing the buildings.
Okay.
Putting it in the names of the community. I would figure out whose name to put it in.
Yeah.
And definitely wouldn't be mine. But I would be there. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, I'm gonna buy this because I want to make sure that this happened with the money.
Well, that's first of all. Yeah.
I don't want to have to guess.
Right.
Concerning what happened with the money.
Yeah. And
this is what we don't see. But we're gonna get it. Listen, as far as I can reach, I'm gonna make these changes.
Can I speak on the rites of passage that we talked about? The youth rite of passage? I think that's a phenomenal concept.
Yeah.
And I think that whoever listening in whatever community they live in, maybe they could take it and run with it, but I would love to see it implemented in a lot of different cities.
Maybe they have something and they could add on.
Maybe they have something. You could add on to it. So you and I spoke about both of us are Navy guys, right? And what's it called? Is it an EastWAS?
The EastWAS program. There's a lot of programs, but one of them is the EastWAS.
Okay, so there's the EastWAS program. Basically, a person has to show proficiency in pretty much every department of the ship, correct?
Yeah, in order to have a basic understanding of their platform, yeah.
Right. So you and I talked about going to a local barbershop and maybe having a barber show a group of kids just basic normal grooming, right? Nothing advanced, just basic self-care, right?
Yeah. Maybe sanitation behind it.
Having that. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, sanitation behind it. You and I talked about having a person showing the kids how to go about picking their dress shoes, how to go about picking dress pants that being different than wearing jeans, how to go about picking the right fitting button-down shirt, how to tie a tie, how to pick a tie. Knowing between something being like laid back, like tennis shoes, a casual occasion, and then we used to wear like really dress attire, like a job interview, a funeral, a wedding, etc. Right?
Car care.
I'm about to say, have a person with the car care, basic oil change, basic changing a tire, things like that.
Not just kids, anybody who's lacking, you know.
Anybody. Anybody want to come. Having a person dealing with the lawn. And I find that most of these things we're talking about, you can find ways to monetize that, man. You find somebody with the lawn, showing them how to edge up the yard with the weed eater and how to cut the grass and maybe even do some shrubs and bushes and hedges and things like that.
And then maybe through these kinds of programs, the kids will find some self-worth or they'll know what they do.
Self-confidence. Have somebody teach them how to cook, how to barbecue. That's a real manly thing. Barbecue, right?
Things that should be
taught. Besides that, well, you're not dependent on a woman, let's say, for all your meals. I know guys that's like that.
Yeah.
If you piss your wife off, man, you done. What you gonna do?
And personally,
how to sustain for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see a lot of women like changing oils. I mean, it would be cool, but at least they know because they was exposed to these certain things.
Yeah.
At least they know what they're looking at, so they won't get jerked when they out by themselves.
True. That's a good one. True. And so lastly, we talked about, things like that. So to make it short for the people that's listening, after we have all these people in place, we go like week by week, even if it's a weekend, right? And we have each one of those guys to come in, or the kids go to them, it'd be better. And the guy is showing them a certain particular skill. And then over time, the kids study up on that skill and then go back to the guy in time and show proficiency at that skill. And the guy signs off on it, right? And then at the very end of the program, the child showed their proficiency in the skills. And we have an actual, like a graduation or a crossing over ceremony, I would love to actually donate, my direct program. All of us donate and go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Ross or whatever and buy a bunch of like button-down shirts, buy a bunch of slacks, buy some ties, have those kids at that last day really see themselves in their higher self. See how that feels. See how people respond to you, right? The different respect level you get. I had a young man tell me that over time. He said, man, you know what, Sean? I thought you was corny at first and this and that, but now whenever I dress different and talk different, act different, I attract a different kind of woman. People respond to me differently in the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let those young men feel that. And that would be also awesome like we said, something that's tangible, something you can do right away.
Yep.
Don't take a lot of money.
Yep.
Just take time once again. Just take time.
Yep. But Chad, man, I love to build about this more, but I gotta cut it off.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna be doing this again.
Yeah, man. I'm glad we did it for the first time. Got that first time out the way. We can do this.
This really was supposed to be a test run, as you can see in the title, but we had to go ahead and do it since I
went on
broadcast.
Yeah, we're gonna start banging these up, man. You know what I want to start doing? I want to start doing like actual PowerPoint presentations. And then we can know how to share our screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We can actually walk each other and the viewership through us breaking certain things down. You know, we do a PowerPoint about different programs we can start. PowerPoint on things we can do. We can show them slide by slide. Boom. You know, very strategic and streamlined and very informational based. They can write things down. They can make notes. You know what I'm saying?
So, so Sean, tell them what you got going on, man.
Yes, sir.
Before we get out of here.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I got the book coming. How to be a self-feeder, right? I got about 3 or 4 chapters left to write on that. And then I'm doing the radio every morning, KJCB 770 AM here in Louisiana. Every 10 o'clock a.m. We got hot school conversations. And I got my own podcast popping off pretty soon. I cannot wait to invite you on my podcast, brother.
Seanisms, right?
It is Seanisms. It will be, yes. Seanisms. Yeah, it is. That's me, man.
No doubt. Yeah, man. For me, man, I got this going on. We'll be doing this more frequently. I'll get my rhythm and then start putting it out like that, maybe 2 or 3 times a week on certain days.
Yeah, man. Agree.
I got the podcast. I got to get Sean on the podcast one more time before he goes on vacation. I got the blog,
yeah, for real.
shoptalk7.me, the Shop Talk. It's all one word, Shop Talk 7. 7 is spelled out, the actual word, .me on WordPress. Me and the brothers out here, we're working on something we're calling C. Medina Youth Circle. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but it's coming down the pipeline. So be ready for that, and hopefully we'll get some of these things that we're talking about, on the streets with the Rites of Passage program, with this 10 people for $20 thing I'm talking about, so we can get this money together and help people in our community. But
yes, sir.
But hey, that's it. So please, who's ever going to tune in later, tune in next time. We'll make these more regular. The content
man.
better. It'll be a whole lot of interesting conversation. And we're going to man. Peace.
Peace.